Thank you, sir. Grace Lasser is a 2019 graduate of MMI, where she earned an appointment to the U.S. Naval Academy. After her time here, Grace went on to face many unforeseen challenges and obstacles. Through her perseverance and never quit attitude, Grace learned how to face, fight, and overcome whatever life throws at her. Now relying on the lessons of service and leadership that she learned here at MMI, she wants to help you to do the same. Serve, lead, and never quit. Please welcome Ms. Grace Lasser.
All right, can you guys hear me okay? Awesome, how are we doing today? We're doing great. Excited to race tomorrow, get some action going. Well, as they mentioned, I was a cadet here. Oh, thank you, I forgot to do that. I'm so used to having to keep it on. As I mentioned, I was a cadet here 2018-2019, and it's definitely weird being up on this stage instead of sitting in those seats like I used to. But because I used to sit in those seats, I know what you guys are probably thinking. You're tired, it's Commandant's time, we have another speaker. I get it, been there, done that, so I'm gonna try to help you guys out, make my story interesting, make it quick, open it up for questions at the end. Does that sound good for you guys? Good? Awesome, all right. So as I mentioned, I was a cadet here at Marion. I was in Delta Company with Sergeant Menning up there. If you see his mini violin on his desk, I gave that to him. He likes to play it a lot. He played it a lot while I was here. And yeah, my time at Marion and the years that followed have definitely had their ups and downs. From almost losing my appointment to the Naval Academy while I was here, to thankfully getting that appointment, to a couple of near-death experiences, and we'll get into those. That's normally the shocker for people. To transferring colleges a couple times, changing my major, to just trying to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. It's been interesting. It's been a little crazy. Before I get into all that craziness, though, and by craziness I mean the stuff that is a lot more interesting, I'm going to have to backtrack a little bit, tell you guys a little bit about myself, what initially sparked my interest in the military, and how the heck I ended up here at Marion in the first place. So by a show of hands, how many of you guys knew from a young age what you wanted to do with your life? You knew you wanted to do military, or you just kind of had an idea, like it was in your blood almost? All right, now how many of you are on the opposite end of that spectrum, where you're still figuring it out, or maybe it wasn't until high school recently? How many of you guys are in that boat? All right, awesome. So I'm kind of in the middle of that. I was a pretty ambitious child. My dream jobs ranged from astronaut to heart surgeon to president of the United States, but nowhere on that list was military ever listed, which is really funny because now you ask any of my friends, it's kind of the only thing they see me doing. But no matter how much military channel my dad made me watch, no matter how many cool planes, cool helicopters, all this stuff he showed me, little Grace did not want to join the military. That would change though. In 5th grade, I had a soccer tournament up near the Naval Academy, and my parents, being the parents that they are, said, we're gonna go enjoy a tour of this place. And that was one of my first experiences being voluntold to do something, and I'm pretty sure you guys get that a lot. I was 10 at the time, so I thought it'd be boring. But oddly enough, when I stepped foot on the yard, I got this feeling. Now, 10-year-old me didn't know what that feeling was or how it would manifest itself, but the feeling was there. And I would soon come to learn that that feeling was a sense of home and belonging, and would serve as my calling to join the military. Flash forward a few years, I'm in high school now, and military was what I wanted to do. I went to a small all-girls Catholic high school, and so someone from that high school wanting to join the military was a pretty big deal. And so I was kind of known as the military girl at my school. I also grew up an athlete. I played, soccer, basketball, tennis, track. In high school, my main sport was crew. And so I wanted to play D1 college sports. That was a dream of mine, kind of a non-negotiable. After doing some research and remembering my time at the academy a few years prior, I felt like that was the place for me. I visited the academy several times, once for summer seminar, a couple times for some rowing camps, had some college official recruitment visits up there. And every time I went, I felt more and more at home, the less I wanted to leave, and I knew that was the place I was supposed to be. My senior year, I had the amazing opportunity to sign to row with the nationally ranked D1 women's crew team at the Naval Academy. It was a dream come true. Not many athletes get to play sports in college, and not many people get to go to their dream college. And here I was getting both of those things. And coming from this small all-girls high school, that didn't happen a lot. So it was an experience I don't think I'm ever going to forget. There's a catch, though. I did not receive a direct appointment. What I got was USNA Foundation sponsorship. And what that meant was I'd be spending a year at a prep school, that school being Marion, before acclimating into next year's class. Of course, I was upset. I wanted to get there as soon as possible, but also because I wanted to be at the academy so badly, I would do whatever it took to get there. And if they said, go spend a year at this school in Marion, Alabama, that I had never heard of before, I was going to go to that school in the middle of Alabama. And that's how I ended up here at Marion. I had lots of fun times. You can ask all these guys. They probably have some fun stories to tell about me from my year here. You can ask Dumphy how PT went. That was a lot of fun early mornings. And yeah, it was overall really fun. I made good grades, got some good friends, got to go to the range a lot, hang out with Sergeant Magnus a lot there. It was all really, really fun. I was trying to have a normal college experience, as normal as a military college can get. Second semester, though, it was a little different. It was a bit more challenging. I started to forget why I was here. I lost my focus, and that didn't mean I wanted the Naval Academy any less. I just started to let things cloud my mind. One night, before I received my official appointment, I made the very stupid decision to drink in the barracks with some of my friends, and we were caught. You know that results in a DO, and I was worried at the time. You can ask my friends from high school, I was a goody two-shoes. I never broke any rules. I was really worried. You can ask all the guys here. I was so worried. I was panicking like I'd never panicked before, but they were told I should be okay. I'd have to do some penalty hours, lose my rank, but the lesson would be learned. Unfortunately, through some unofficial channels, the Naval Academy learned of my decision, and my appointment was truly on the line. It didn't matter how they found out. All the work I had done, the work I did in high school, the extra training sessions I was putting in here for the Naval Academy rowing team, the late nights I was spending studying, none of that mattered because I chose to make a poor decision. One bad decision outweighed all of the good stuff I had done my entire life. And yeah, that sucks, but that's just how it is. I had several meetings with the brass being my captains at the Naval Academy, and the guys here. And let me tell you, I love these guys. I look up to them in so many different ways, but sitting across from them in their office because you made a stupid decision to break the rules to put your appointment on the line is not fun. I don't recommend even trying to put yourself in that situation. Don't do it. And that's my way of telling you, don't drink in the barracks. It's a stupid idea. Don't do it. But I could have taken the easy way out of that situation. I could have said, screw the Naval Academy, I'm just going to forget about it. I could have put the blame on others. I could have kept on making bad decisions. But that simply wasn't an option. As someone who still wanted to be a military officer, I had to keep on going, and I had to take full responsibility for what I had done, no matter how hard it was. I had to earn the trust back of all these guys, of my peers here at Marion, of the rowing coach up at the Naval Academy, of my family, and I had to prove to them that I would overcome this decision that I made, and that I would do whatever it took to have the honor of serving in our nation's military. I lost a lot that second semester, some friends included. But because I owned what I did wholeheartedly and took full responsibility, I got my appointment to the Naval Academy. And on June 27th, 2019, induction day, I stood in Tecumseh Court, and I raised my right hand, and I took the oath of office for the United States Naval Academy. You'd think my story would be done there, right? Everything's good? No, we're not even halfway there, guys. So how many of you guys are SAP here? Do you guys know of the fun 6 weeks that come before classes start where you're basically just running around like a chicken with your head cut off? I'm not gonna lie, that's exactly what I felt like the time I was there. My first day consisted of, I got some free clothes. That was pretty nice. But after that, I got yelled at. I got dinner, got yelled at while eating dinner, got lost on my way to try and find my room because Navy guys, Bancroft Hall, it's a maze. I'm just going to warn you guys already. Got yelled at for being lost, got yelled at some more. I got dropped a few times. Yeah. A little tips before I move on. Whatever the academy sends you to memorize before summer, just memorize it. It'll make your life so much easier. And then for my Navy people, for the summer, you wear these things called white works. They're white. I don't know why we wear white because it gets dirty super easily, but you wear white. So at your meals, Don't use condiments, don't use sauces, because you will spill and you'll get sriracha sauce all over your white works, and your detailers will laugh at you and make fun of you and yell at you. That wasn't me, that was someone else in my squad. And last tip, Navy people, don't put your white works in the laundry with your navy blue shorts, because it will dye your white works blue, and you will get yelled at and made fun of by your detailers. Again, that wasn't me, that was someone else. Hopefully that should help you guys. Leap summer, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It was a challenge. It's not fun. You're getting up early. You have no clue what time it is. You can't do anything right. Your bed could be made perfectly, in your opinion, but it's still going to be wrong in the eyes of your detailers. You're tired. You're getting no sleep. It's not fun. But even though it wasn't fun, I still embraced every single moment of it because I was where I was supposed to be. Nobody cared about my past. Nobody cared about the decisions I made while I was here at Marion. All that mattered was that we were there for each other, and we were there to make each other better. The past didn't matter. Even though the past helped prepare me for the Naval Academy, nobody cared about it. We were there for each other. Leap summer was going really well, until one day, I suffered what we later found out to be was a near-fatal cardiac episode in the barracks. My detailers found me unresponsive, seizing, I wasn't breathing, and my heart rate, they couldn't find one. I was in and out for about 15 minutes, woke up right before EMT arrived, and my first thought, well, this is really scary. I wake up surrounded by detailers, and so I thought I did something wrong because, these people usually are yelling at me. But no, they were really supportive, made sure I got the help I needed. We went to the hospital, and we're told it's just a pretty severe anxiety attack. I mean, you guys tell me, does that sound like an anxiety attack to you? That was pretty severe, but we went with it. I went back to the barracks, was put on bed rest, and I'd be ready to go the next day. Unfortunately, I had another episode, and it was at that point that we knew this wasn't just anxiety. This was something bigger. And my condition was obviously very scary and confusing. So back to the hospital I went, and what was supposed to be just one night with a couple of tests turned into about a week and a half in the hospital with countless tests. You name a medical test, I probably had it done. The frustrating thing was all these tests came back negative. I wasn't getting any answers, and I wasn't there for my company or for my squad. I was sitting in a bed while they were out there doing all the hard work. And I just wanted answers so I could get back to doing what I was supposed to be doing. It wasn't until I had another episode, this time in my sleep, when I was diagnosed with long QT syndrome. What that is an abnormality of your heart's electrical system. If you look on this bottom right picture, the little blue line, that's your QT interval. Mine is a lot longer than the average person's, and that means that my heart takes a long time to reset, but the problem is it tries to pump before it's reset, which means it just gets out of sync, and then it's just kind of sitting there, not doing anything. That can lead to really fatal arrhythmias, and oftentimes the first sign of this defect is death because it goes undiagnosed in a lot of people, and that's almost what happened to me. A doctor told me I had several near-fatal runs of arrhythmia. If you look at that bottom, that's what my heart looked like. I couldn't find my actual EKG readings, but that's really similar to what my heart was doing. In fact, at some points it looked worse than that, and each time I almost slipped into cardiac arrest. But luckily, I'm still here today, and while all of that was really scary for me to hear, my first question wasn't about that. I wanted to know if I could get back to the academy, keep doing what I was doing, keep doing what I knew or at least thought I was supposed to be doing with my life. Even though this was scary, medication normally can fix it. So the doctor said, we'll get you on medication, you'll get back to it, you'll be back at the academy in no time. But that wasn't the case for me. I kept on having episodes, each one getting worse, and it was at that point I was deemed unfit for the military. I'd be forced to medically separate from the academy. I had just gotten to get a taste of my dreams, just started to live them out, when they were ripped away from me by something I couldn't control. It wasn't like here at Marion where I could overcome my decision. I couldn't control the fact that my heart was doing that. I couldn't control it. On top of that, I'd have to be on heavy medication for the rest of my life, medication which we're still trying to figure out today. And I'd have to have surgery to get a defibrillator pacemaker implant to make sure my heart works properly. And then on top of that, I'd never be able to row again. The sport that I fell in love with, I couldn't do that because water is a trigger for my cardiac episodes, so I couldn't do any water sports. And we didn't know if I'd ever be able to work out again. Luckily, I'm able to now, but at the time, we didn't know that, and I didn't know how to handle all of that. I was 19 when all this happened. And no one knows how to handle that. I still don't know how to handle it. And while I didn't know what my next steps were, I knew I wasn't going to let this stop me from continuing on with my life. I had to keep on going. I had to keep on pushing. And even though I didn't really know what not quitting meant at the time, I wasn't going to quit. I said my goodbyes, and I tried everything I could to stay at the academy. I even cried to a commander and captain, and not the midshipman ones, like actual ones at the academy. Because for some reason, I tend to have a lot of meetings with high-ranking people, as you can see from my past. But I just couldn't stay. It wasn't safe for me or the people around me, so said my goodbyes, signed my separation papers, and I headed home to have my surgery. And if you see that device, that's what's inside of me right now. I have to get it replaced every 10 years. And yeah, that summer was rough. I didn't want to keep on going. But the thing that got me through was the fact that my company was still using me as motivation, even though I wasn't there with them. They put up a sign that said, "If not for yourself, do it for Grace." And that's what got me through the rest of that summer, was knowing that even though I wasn't at the academy, I still had this bond with them, a bond that could never be broken. And they were going to fight that entire summer and get through it for me. That's what got me through the rest of that summer. On the path of never quitting, I decided I should probably stay in school. So I used to be a chemistry major. I was going to keep doing that, become a doctor or something. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. But I ended up at a small college out near Knoxville, Tennessee called Maryville College. And I tried to get on with my life. But it wasn't easy. I kept on comparing everything to the Naval Academy. I kept on thinking that I just wanted to be in the military, but I couldn't, and I just kept on getting upset and angry every single day. Nothing was going right. We couldn't get my medication figured out. I was in and out of the ER trying to figure this stuff out, and I was just frustrated. Nothing made sense. I kept on having flashbacks to my time in the hospital when I was having these episodes, and I fell into a really, really dark and depressive state. Instead of asking for help, I made decisions to distract myself, and most of those decisions did involve alcohol. Every day, I just waited to get back to my room when I could just forget the past, forget that day, and forget that all of this had happened. And what I thought was not quitting was actually me veering way off of the path. After some time and a few really, really bad hangovers, I decided I needed to get my life together. I needed to stop dwelling on the past. I needed to forge my own path, keep moving forward. I couldn't keep letting this hold me back. Because yes, it sucked that all of that happened, but I was letting it hold me down. There's a poem you guys are going to have to memorize at the academy. It's called Invictus. And that was the poem my company adopted after I left. But the last two lines of it are, "I'm the master of my fate. I'm the captain of my soul." I'm going to say that again. I'm the master of my fate. I'm the captain of my soul. For so long, I had let my past hold me down that I was preventing myself from doing great things. And so I decided, you know what? I determine my own future. I'm going to be the one to pick myself back up and go create my new path. And that's what you guys need to do too. You guys need to keep on going because you are in charge of your life. You determine what you do, what happens. I decided to forge my own path, and I moved back home to Nashville, Tennessee, where I'm attending Belmont University. And I took a good long look at what my actual passions in life were. Now, I love chemistry, but that major was not for me. I took analytical chemistry. That's what did it. That's what made me not want to be a chemistry major anymore. But what I did love was fitness. I love motivating others. I like researching and being innovative. So I changed my major to exercise science with a minor in strength and conditioning. And when I did that, I still didn't know what I wanted to do with that, but that was the first step of many in creating my new future. In December 2022, I will graduate with my bachelor's in exercise science with a minor in strength and conditioning. I plan to pursue graduate studies in kinesiology and get my PhD in kinesiology. I also recently started my own strength training and sports performance business called Ironheart Training. And my plan for that, well, it's just a training business now. I want it to become a research institute where I can develop these new and innovative training techniques and recovery techniques, not just for athletes, but for military members like you as well. I figured if I can't be in the military, why can't I do something that benefits them? I was being selfish by not wanting to move on and by only thinking about myself wanting to be in the military. But because I finally let my past go, came up with ideas, and now I know that I can still be involved with you guys. I can still help you guys. I can make you guys better. It's just not in the way that I had originally planned. It's different, but I can still be there for you guys. When I was creating the vision for my business, I didn't want it to be about how strong you are or how fast you can run, how much you can lift. I wanted it to be about you. I wanted it to be about the person. How much heart do you have? How much work are you putting in? How much effort are you putting in? And that vision, I started to apply it to my own life. And that's when things started to actually look better because I decided to actually not quit. I finally learned what that meant. Many people, myself included, have not expected me to make it this far. They've expected me to quit, to give up, to not be doing the things that I'm doing, to not be achieving the things that I am, to not be pursuing anything else. They expect me to just be sitting at home doing nothing. Of course, I wish that life had gone a little bit differently. I wish that I got a direct appointment to the Naval Academy. I wish I didn't make the decisions I made while I was here at Marion. I wish that I wasn't diagnosed with a rare life-threatening heart defect. I wish I didn't depend on metal inside of my heart to make it work properly. And I wish that after all that had happened, I had recovered quicker. I wish that life had been easy. But you see, here's the thing. If none of that had happened, I wouldn't be the person that I am today. I'd be at the Naval Academy, probably living my dream life, but I wouldn't be learning how to fight, how to persevere, how to overcome obstacles. I'd just be cruising through life up there. Because all of that happened, I stand up here in front of you today stronger than I ever imagined I could have been, and I have broken limits and barriers that I didn't even know I had. Life's thrown a few curveballs at me, but I face them head on. And because I wake up every morning and I choose to fight and I choose to not quit, I'm just going to keep on getting stronger. And there's never going to be a limit to how strong I can get. And so I'm just going to keep on becoming stronger and greater. And you can too. Because all of you are stronger than you think you are. You guys are all so, so strong. If there's one thing I want you to take away from me being here today, and I'm pretty sure you can guess what it is at this point, it's to never quit. No matter what life throws at you, no matter what gets thrown in your face. Shit happens. It's a part of life. And it's okay to be upset. It's okay to be angry. And it's okay to not know what your next steps are. Because to this day, sometimes I still don't know what my next step should be. But what really matters is how you handle these situations. Are you going to crumble underneath all the pressure? Or are you going to rise to the occasion and fight and persevere and become the great person that you are? Here's the thing about life. You're going to fail over and over again. You're going to have people question you and betray you. You're going to question yourself. You're going to have plans change. You're not going to know what to do. You're going to face challenge after challenge after challenge, and you're going to get tired, and you're just going to want it all to stop. But this is when you have to be strong. This is when you have to face those situations head on, because you can, whether you believe it or not. Nobody else on this earth, except for you, knows how much heart you're giving, knows how much work you're putting in, knows the fights that you're fighting. You're the only person that knows that, and so you determine how hard you fight. But then here's the other end of that. Nobody, including yourself, knows how strong you can really be. Because if you decide to not quit, you're just going to keep on getting stronger, and if you decide to never give yourself a limit, there's no limit to how strong you can get. You're going to become infinitely strong, and you're going to become great and unstoppable. And no one in this life is going to be able to stop you from being great and achieving what you can achieve. So be tenacious, be resilient, be gritty, and never, never quit. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Grace. We have time for a couple questions. So if anybody has any question? Anybody? All right, well, I have one. What's up with that tattoo on your left arm?
This one?
Yeah.
All right, so this is my first tattoo that I got. That right there, the number, that's my alpha number that the Naval Academy gave me. Naval Academy people, that's basically the number you live by while you're at the academy. After that, That's actually directly from one of my EKG strips when I had an episode in the hospital. So that was my actual heartbeat, and now this is my day-to-day heartbeat when it's not acting up. I have the longer QT wave, but that's my new normal heartbeat.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you. Any questions from the audience? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and stand up.
It's based in Nashville right now for my in-person people, but I do also have virtual people or people that I train virtually. It just kind of depends on what happens. It's still fairly new. It's only a few months old, but right now based in Nashville.